All right.
Kermit. All right. Welcome everybody to Pop Culture. I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Monica.
And this episode we are talking about the Muppets Haunted Mansion, the new Halloween special from Disney Plus, featuring everyone's favorite characters, the Muppets. Or certainly my favorite characters.
Ooh.
Yes, my favorite characters and my favorite amusement park ride that I've never been to. But anyway,
Certainly better than Eddie Murphy's go at it.
That's what I was about to say. I didn't really love this, however, much better than the last attempt at a Haunted Mansion movie.
I kind of loved this movie. I felt it was a worthy addition to the Muppet Cinematic Universe.
I'm going to rank it down there with Muppets Wizard of Oz, I'm afraid.
Completely fair. No worries. I get it. I just thought it was charming and whimsical and a bit spooky.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just going to say, I find the Muppets has two different audiences, and what I mean by that is when I was introduced to the Muppets, it was the television show. So my idea of the Muppets is that variety show concept. And the movies, for me, are sort of very different to my expectation of the Muppets. And, you know, I used to want to get home in time to be able to watch them when they're on television because I was seeing them as they were being released and things. So it was one of those shows that everyone was going, this is great, this is really unusual, and so on. And then the movies came out, and they still had that spark of it. I'm not going to deny that. Even the latest ones certainly maintained it. And I think I look for that essence of the show in things to enjoy the Muppets. When it leaves it too much, I just sort of don't quite get it the same way, I think, as other people who start from the films have a different concept of the Muppets rather than those theatre types, if you want, that they're making fun of. So I sort of like this one because it did have little nods to the show, like the ballroom dancing jokes, you know, where they're talking to each other and things like that. But then it also fell into some of the things that I didn't really find that interesting about the film versions of the Muppets. So it was this weird mixed bag for me.
Where it becomes parody and...
Yeah, really, really weird mixed bag. I actually had to go back and watch it again because I fell asleep halfway through it. And I think it's because it was sort of ticking these boxes of the same things that you've seen from the Muppets before, particularly the shows. And so there was nothing really drawing me into it the same way as, say, the new Muppet movie, which was very different to what I'd seen before.
Yeah,
which was really good too.
It was really good. Yeah, I guess it's similar to the Looney Tunes, which had a similar kind of, I guess, essence. People grew up watching the shorts of these characters in 2 to 5 minutes, and the film versions sort of stretch that a little bit, and they have to pad out and add characterization to something that's really only a few minutes long and is meant to get a laugh out of you. So I can definitely appreciate that for some, the Muppet movies might be a little bit more... what's the right word? Not tiresome, but definitely something that you have to feel that to invest in.
I feel like they're a lot less sharp than the variety show format of the Muppets.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the humor in the Muppet Show is really, you know, it certainly appeals to kids because you've got puppets doing silly things and that's great. But then you've got this like quite aware, sharp humor that is, as an adult, you know, I still find very funny. And I think the Muppet movies, the moment if it just seems to be, if it's like about the Muppets, the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, the new one, I'm okay with it. But when they start doing this like Muppet Treasure Island, it's like I never really thought the Muppets were doing a great commentary on literature, but all right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like Christmas Carol works, I think, because it's sort of it actually plays it very sincere.
Yes, and also you have a wonderful Scrooge and Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, but it actually does like a fairly sincere telling of Dickens, and that's fine. Yeah. That's good. That's fine. That's why
Muppet characters in that one actually suit the roles. So say the world was Muppets, and you go, "Oh, we're going to put on the Christmas Carol. Who will play what?" You put those Muppets in those roles, and it actually makes sense. So it's sort of I think one of the reasons that one works.
It's almost like the post Jim Henson. Like Jim Henson passed away like right before that movie was released, I think. And after that, they kind of go down the Muppet Treasure Island, Muppet Wizard of Oz. Like they go. I don't know why that's what. Like I don't think the Muppets are a tool for parody.
No, that could be maybe a direction that Disney wants to take with the Muppets property.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, chain their other franchises to it.
Yeah, just to uphold, I guess, brand prestige or something like that. Whereas, hey, it's a Disney company. Look how self-reflective we are. We can make fun of ourselves. Ha, ha, ha.
And we do it with puppets.
Yeah, which, if you're a bit more cynical, that comes off as a bit insincere. But
it's going to fall into that Space Jam trap too, where you suddenly undermining...
You said the certain words.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, they're undermining the origin of these
pool of hatred that is.
But you get what I mean. It's sort of like if you keep overusing the Muppets for something else, they lose their essence, and they're something that stand on their own. And the humor and sort of angles that the Muppets take is very unique, and it really does need to be maintained. And this one, I believe, doesn't quite do it unless it's reflecting back to other Muppet shows, which it does. So they're the only bits that I sort of went, oh, this is cool, seeing the Muppets again. But otherwise, I wasn't, if that makes any sense.
I prefer the last half more than I liked the first half of it.
Yeah, I thought the second half was a lot better.
It picked up quite nicely. Almost as if it picked up the moment they separated Gonzo and Pepe.
Poor Pepe, he just wants to hang out with the celebrities and the bad pits.
Yeah, and it was sort of like there was some like odd dark humor with like Gonzo seeing himself age and things. Yeah. And the Will Arnett's odd character.
I found him really charming, actually. I loved Will Arnett in this movie.
Will Arnett's really good. I was getting
delightful.
Job vibes.
Yeah, me too. I remember when he first appeared on the screen when I was watching the movie, I was just like, I never cared for Job.
I never cared for Job. They're my illusions, Gonzo. A trick is something a whore does for money.
I guess at the core of this movie, it's definitely Gonzo the Great's movie. And I appreciated the story that it comes with him. And I wish maybe we had seen this when we had Dave on the show as well to talk about children's films, because I think the story of Gonzo in this film comes off really, really nicely without being condescending.
Oh, like conquering your fear and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Kermit's wonderful advice. You don't need to do tricks in order to be great. You're already great.
Yeah.
That's the part of the Muppets that I love.
I hate it.
Yeah, no, of course not. No one hates the Muppets.
No, you're a bad human being if you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there were just so many moments that felt very like labored, like weighted down by this like I don't know, attempt at jokes that didn't land, and but when they did, I had a chuckle. There were a couple of moments that did. I was like,
yeah, and I thought the music was quite good as well. Like it's a sort of half film, half musical, and I thought it was really fun and boppy. I thought, kids will really enjoy it.
Yeah, and then we had Danny Trejo being like, "Bring me tacos," which was a bit like
that threw my head. I was like, "You're not meant to be in this kind of movie."
You're a scary man. You've literally killed people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I enjoyed you in Spy Kids, but geez. Yeah. But yeah, and I thought, I'm not sure about you two, but did you get like in the hallways for the hotel? Like I got the Shining vibes. Like it was a similar kind of set.
I think it's a hard thing to avoid in haunted house movies now.
Yeah, it gave me The Shining, and it also gave me a little bit of Bubba Hotep. Just slightly. And I was like, oh God, what's my brain doing to me?
The dun dun me's were...
Yes.
Did need more Bruce Campbell though.
Yeah, that's true. Everything could use a bit more Bruce Campbell.
That's correct. I mean, I guess ultimately, at least it's very short. So if you hate it, like if you really hated it, at least you don't have to wait very long for it to be over.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't overstay its welcome.
It's good to sort of have shorter movies. I feel that everyone feels the need to pad out a 2-hour time slot to entertain people when you really don't.
3 hours long.
Oh God, it's Lord of the Rings all over again.
9 hours long. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there were bits I really liked, but there was a lot that I was like, it's not quite the Muppets.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I want, Disney just to pull their finger out and do the variety show properly again.
I would love to see the variety show again, yeah.
To me, that would be perfect.
Because I still haven't watched the Muppets Now. The thing, I don't even know what it's about. Like, that's how I haven't watched it. They did some Muppet show last year.
I haven't seen it either.
I think I saw one of them, and it wasn't memorable. It was sort of like a bit self-reflective, I guess, as a show. But the Muppets have always been putting an eye on itself and, breaking the fourth wall constantly. Yeah. But it's sort of down that track.
I was spending too much time watching the old episodes that they put on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
With all of their content warnings and trigger warnings now.
Oh, I know. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, oh no, he's going to say something horrible. But anyway, I mean, yeah, I love the Muppets, and I'll happily see more Muppets. So I'm not upset that I watched this. I am happy for more Muppets. But yeah, it wasn't as amazing, I think, as I'd hoped it would be.
Yeah, I would agree. I had a good chuckle, and I thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I would love to see the variety show make a triumphant return. That's where the Muppets really belong.
Yeah, absolutely. In a theatre.
Yes.
Not some sort of cyberspace thing.
Muppet theatre.
Whatever.
Muppet
theatre.
Cyberspace thing.
Yeah, we're trying to be digital and
they'll make Zoom jokes. It'll be.
Well, they've already got those sorts of things on there, but if you go to YouTube, you'll find Statler and Waldorf making fun of the internet, and at the end of the Swedish Chef popcorn video.
Yeah, that's right. They do. Yeah.
which is all good. It's nice outside the show, but it'd be great to see that show come back together as it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of celebrities that are contractually obligated to Disney that I'm sure would happily appear.
Actually, they could probably have a big hit on their hands.
Yeah,
if they do it,
they really could.
Bob Iger up there clutching contracts. Your soul is mine. Get on the Muppet Show. Talk to the frog.
We'll shave a few years off your current contract.
Yeah. Oh, you want to make one less Marvel movie, do you?
How do you feel about Miss Piggy?
Chris Evans being touched by Miss Piggy. It's the next.
I think he got out just in time.
Oh, you could have Chris Hemsworth singing and all sorts of things.
Oh, he'd be all over that. Yeah. I think he'd get a kick out of that.
For sure.
Not RDJ, though. He demands at least 60 mil up front now.
Doesn't do things for the sake of enjoyment anymore.
No, he doesn't smile in photographs at home anymore.
Oh.
All right. You guys listening to this episode of Popped Culture. I've been Scott.
I'm still Jason.
And I'm still Monica.